So we all knew this was coming at some point, and I had to give it a bit of thought. I really did, honestly, and I finally have my list down for my rankings of all of the Joker actors. This is actually going to be a separate video compared to another video that I'm planning on doing, which is actually going to be ranking the actual Jokers in those movies. So this is going to be a separate thing. This is performances in terms of their Jokers. The next video is going to be actual Jokers. So do not take offense to this video. This has nothing to do with the overall Jokers. It just has stuff to do with their overall performance. So if I make something on my list, it's only because of the acting ability. It has nothing to do with the actual Joker. Which, either way, I know a lot of you are going to get offended anyways in this video just because you guys feel very strongly about certain Jokers and stuff like that. But just keep in mind, this is all my opinion. It's not fact. And if you guys would like to leave your opinions, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. Also, if you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe. Yeah, just subscribe. Almost said my catchphrase at the beginning of the video. But we're starting off in last place, and it is Cesar Romero. I do not have any issues with Cesar Romero at all. Actually, his performance, if you really look at it, is very comic accurate to the Joker, or at least what he portrays on screen, right? But honestly, he doesn't really give much to his character. He's just, he's just the wacky Batman villain that pops up in the 60s just for Batman to clobber and throw back in jail. And that's basically what it was meant for in the 60s. And again, just different era, different types of acting abilities, different things expected of superhero genre. And I will say, I don't hate Cesar Romero at all. It's just I put him this low because I know what he's capable of, and they didn't allow him to fully go out. And that's not the point of the series anyway. So I can't really downplay him that much, but ultimately just not something that I can really pay that much attention to. Coming up next is Jared Leto. Jared Leto had the potential to be a pretty good Joker. I want to say that he would have been amazing because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, or maybe it's because of the thing that we saw that I'm kind of like, but I will give him this much. He probably could have been good. But ultimately, he wasn't good. His performance just felt very aimless. I wasn't exactly sure what he was going for, or what the directors wanted him to go for, or the script writing wanted him to go for. I mean, clearly they wanted him to portray this gangster Joker without displaying anything that's related to the Joker, outside of maybe a tattoo on his hand that he puts over his face and stuff like that. Wasn't really digging that. Wasn't digging his overall appearance either. But that goes back into the category of overall Joker. But ultimately, his performance just felt kind of weird. He was like making all these weird noises, and he was trying to make us uncomfortable, but it was just laughably bad at how he was trying to make us feel uncomfortable. Like, he was doing stuff like cat snarls and stuff like that. Just did not work out for me personally, and I felt like Jared Leto could have done a better job if he was given the right material and if he was given more things to actually work with. Now, his performance was a little bit better in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is why I bumped him up a little bit. And he did have a little bit more acting ability in that, and display a little bit more of his chops, but they didn't allow him to fully go out, and I feel really bad that he did not get his chance to shine. And so that's why he's this low on the list. Coming up next is Barry Keoghan. I'm going to go with Keoghan because I feel like that's the way to pronounce it. Ultimately, the reason why he's this low has nothing to do with his performance, honestly, because his performance, I was very, very mesmerized by his performance. I really was. I actually really, really liked his performance for the deleted scene that we got. I really, really loved it. I'm loving what they're doing with the Joker. He's not going to be like an overall focus until maybe the end of it, where he's like the big boss, which makes sense because the Batman and Joker dynamic should be the big event, right? And they never really fully revealed what he looks like either. But his acting was so good in that scene, along with Pattinson's stillness, that they just played off each other very well in that scene. And it just worked very well for this disturbing take that Matt Reeves wanted to go with. And he's not yet the Joker yet. So a lot of people don't understand that. Like, clearly he's had something happen to him and all that, but he's not the Joker yet. He is clearly this patient there, but he's not going to be known as the Joker yet. And the way Keown plays the character plays very well with what I've seen, what we've all seen with the makeup. And he just knows how to work with it really well and knows how to kind of like twitch his body in certain ways, and it just feels very uncomfortable. The way he displays his body language, very well done. But the only reason why I put him this low is because we haven't seen enough of him to really give a verdict on his overall performance as the Joker. And that actual scene that they included in the Batman, if I had one major complaint about the Batman, which you guys know how I feel about that movie, I adore that movie. That deletes, or the scene that they had with him in Arkham, where he's talking to the Riddler, just didn't do it for me, which is a shame because the delete scene was so good. And then you look at the scene they actually included in the movie, and I'm just like, you know. So, you know, I just not bad. He has a lot of potential. I could see him going some places with this, but we're gonna have to see how his performance ends up after this. Coming up next, we have Jack Nicholson. Yeah, Jack Nicholson, obviously, if you want to look at it, he plays the Joker how I would imagine a cartoon coming to life would be, with a little bit more creepy elements. He was never disturbing. A lot of people said disturbing. I say creepy. And Jack Nicholson, if you're looking at him overall and his acting ability, he is like the perfect Joker if you really look at it. Like, he plays the Joker so well and so accurate to the comics that it just feels like the Joker is brought to life on screen. However, the only reason why I didn't enjoy his performance as much as I want to put him higher than the other two is because of one thing, and that is the motivation and his acting chops. Like, when he's actually as Jack Nicholson, or he's always Jack Nicholson, but when he plays as Jack Napier, and before he goes into the chemicals, the whole plot with him and the woman and stuff like that, his acting ability, it feels like he just wants to be the Joker full time in the movie, but he's not allowed to fully explode until he gets in that chemical bath. Once he gets in that chemical bath, it's great, but the stuff before that, he didn't really portray that character the way that you would think, or at least he didn't portray it in a way that felt very gripping for me personally. His best scenes are definitely with him as the Joker, and even with the Joker stuff, there's some stuff in there where I'm like, that doesn't work for me. Like, there's the scene where he has to play being in love with Vicky Vale, and when he looks at the picture and stuff like that, I don't believe that he immediately fell like in love with this random person, which maybe that's the idea, that he's supposed to be a chaotic character, so he's playing that chaos very well. Or maybe it's just me being overly critical of the overall Joker and allowing that to kind of have my analyzing of actual acting. Like, I can't really tell what it is, but it's just some elements about this doesn't work, but a lot of it does work. Now, arguably, if you want to talk about Jokers, Jack Nicholson does play the Joker the best, honestly. But I would say just because of personal preference and the acting and stuff like that, he goes down to number 3. Number 2 is going to piss a lot of people off, but hear me out. Heath Ledger's Joker. Now, okay, I know what you guys are saying. What is wrong with you? Why isn't he number 1? I know. But we're talking about performances. We're not talking about the overall Jokers. And so, from a performance standpoint, yes, Heath Ledger is absolutely amazing as the Joker. He displays disturbing very well. He plays the character. He carries himself a different way. But to me personally, when a lot of people said that he was disturbing, some elements of his character was very funny to me personally. And I like that as well, because the Joker is also a very funny character, whether people want to admit it or not. He is a psychopath, but he does it in a way that is kind of funny at times. Let's not lie here. Like the whole part where he's trying to mess with the gang and stuff like that, the mob, and he's like telling him, you know, hey, you think you can steal from us and just walk away? And he's just like, yeah.
You think you can steal from us and just walk away? Yeah.
Heath Ledger clearly plays his character well, but it's just that one scene. There's one scene in that movie that I kind of didn't feel, and it felt very rushed. And you could tell that even Heath Ledger's acting couldn't really save the scene for me personally. And that's when he was in the hospital with Harvey Dent. Yes, the visual gag was hilarious, but what he was saying to him and stuff like that, it just felt very rushed. Like he was trying so hard to confuse him, and he was over here like, I'm an agent of chaos. I'm like, really? Because the entire movie, you've been seeming like you had a goal the entire movie. Maybe I'm just nitpicking with that scene, but ultimately, I just didn't feel like he, like in terms of performances, yes, he is very good, but he's not like, let me just say it. I just think that Joaquin played a lot more had a lot more to play with than Heath did, which is very unfair. And I will say that to people who are Heath Ledger's fans. Like, Heath Ledger's Joker actually is very, very good. Like, very, very good. And he's, like, yes, arguably he is the best Joker on screen. Arguably. But the actual acting, I would give that to Joaquin because he did have, like, a whole movie to work with. So it's a very unfair advantage. I know that. And he just has more to work with, more story to work with. He has many more things to play with. Like, he has to play with emotions such as, like, sadness, happiness, depression. He has so many emotions to play with, so many story beats to go off of that he has to play different emotions and different feelings and different thoughts without saying anything. The scenes that get to me the most with Joaquin personally are the scenes where you literally could think to yourself, this guy's delusional, but he plays it off so well that you could almost believe him. And it takes a certain amount of acting to get to that point. To believe that maybe this delusional guy maybe isn't delusional. And Joaquin plays that very well. And yes, I will say, as the Joker, he is not the Joker until the end of the movie. But watching that transformation that Joaquin's character goes through and watching his performance as he slowly descends into madness, and he plays descending into madness so well that yes, he is my favorite Joker actor, personally. But Heath is just top tier. But Joaquin is just top tier. I know this video is going to piss off a lot of people. I understand that, but it's just my personal opinions. I'm talking about actors. I'm not even talking about overall Jokers. So for me personally, number one spot is Joaquin. This is all just personal opinions. So I would like to know your guys, again, down below in the comment section. If you guys like the video, make sure to subscribe today to join the Azilization.